What's up and roll tide? Welcome to Catfish Courtside. I'm Chad Anderson, Alabama. Huge victory over Mississippi State on the road. Knew this was a big one. Mark Sears back in the starting lineup. We had one guy that we're going to talk about. Had a career night for the Crimson Tide. One guy for Mississippi State had an unbelievable career night, but Bama was able to hold off the Bulldogs. Let's get this thing rolling. Crimson Tide rolling in the SEC, but also staying under the radar right now. Let's talk about it. All right, welcome in. I'm Chad Anderson. Welcome to Catfish Courtside. Crimson Tide winners over the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Bama goes to 18-3 overall. The Tide now 7-1 in conference play. Mississippi State, 14th ranked team in the country. Bama goes on the road, wins again. State now falls to 16-5. They're 4-4 in the SEC, but don't let that fool you. This SEC is just a freaking nightmare to run through every single night. Now you look at it, the home court doesn't even matter anymore. It feels like these teams are so good. Used to, whenever you look at a schedule, you kind of go down and you start doing your predictions like, all right, we're going to win this one. We'll win this one for sure. It's at home. This one on the road, questionable. And you go, well, they're a terrible team. Yeah, but it's questionable because it's on the road. Oh, we're back at home. We're going to win that. At home against the number one team in the country, we'll probably win that because it's at home. This year, the home court is really not as influential as you might think. It's not a given that teams are just going to run through on their home floor. If you go back and look, Ole Miss lost at home to Texas A&M. You had Tennessee losing earlier this week at home to Kentucky. Auburn was on the ropes at home against a very good Tennessee team when they were 7-point favorites. Tennessee led in a lot of that game. Ole Miss beat Alabama. Kentucky went on the road to Mississippi State. Alabama went to Mississippi State. Like, you just don't get a break when you're, in the SEC right now. Road teams, home teams, like, it doesn't matter. Teams are so good that they're overcoming that home atmosphere, that elite electric SEC basketball atmosphere right now. Alabama beating Mississippi State, that place was going bonkers. I didn't get to attend, but you could just feel the energy, the electricity. You could hear it on the broadcast. It was an intense environment, and Alabama, who built up a lead as large as 9, then gave it away in the second half, ended up coming back, even with missed free throws at the end of the game, and they were able to hold off the Bulldogs. So it was good as well to see Mark Sears back in the lineup. Nate Oates talked about how he and Cliff Amore had unbelievable practices before the game earlier in the week and the weekend, talking about just how much more physical, how much more they were getting after it, and really, kind of notching things up a little bit. So good to see that. Good to see them back on the floor. You could see Sears almost relieved that a couple of baskets went in for him. He still had a good night. As always, you know what you're going to get. But the star of the night for Alabama, Chris Youngblood. That's right, Chris Youngblood, the transfer from South Florida, the AAC Player of the Year from last season. He comes into the hump, and he goes 7 of 11 from the field, but all 7 were three-pointers made, 7 of 10 from beyond the arc. He had 23 points, which led the way for the Crimson Tide. One thing that didn't happen last night or earlier in the week for Bama against State, usually the bench is in the mid-30s. We've even seen them crack 40 on the board. But when you look at the game against the Bulldogs, the bench for Alabama only had, and I say only, they had 27, only 27. Well, again, when you're talking about how they normally put up 35, and again, they've touched the 40 threshold, then 27's a little bit light. And Alabama rotating 10 guys through. It was good to see Darian Reed back on the floor. He got 12 minutes of action. Aiden Sherrill, even though he only had 3 minutes, he still put in 2 baskets and actually got into the game and had an impact there in the first half. Aiden Holloway, just ridiculous. The more open looks this guy gets, it's just insane how good he is from beyond the arc. He was 3 of 7, had 12 points in the contest. Mo Diabate, he had a presence because they put him on Hubbard, Josh Hubbard for Mississippi State, who I mentioned had the ridiculous career night, 38 points. Only one other Bulldog, Kashawn Murphy, was in double figures. He came off the bench with 18. But Josh Hubbard, you couldn't stop the guy. Yeah, hand in his face, pops a three. Put your hand in his face, drives the baseline, hits a floater over the 6'10" Grant Nelson. Like all these things happening where Alabama they couldn't find an answer for the guy. He was that good for Mississippi State. So what was frustrating is Alabama sitting here going, hey, if you stop one guy, you win this game by 10, 15 points. But he's that good. You couldn't stop the one guy. But again, unbelievable back and forth, and watching him play, even though he was on the opposing team, it's just a fun guy to watch. Like what he was doing and how he was performing and playing and the way he could elevate on his jump shot, truly remarkable. On some negative notes, you want to be negative? Jaron Stevenson, I can't figure this one out. I really can't. I root for Stevenson. I love the length. I love the fact that, he can be a problem on the floor. He has the ability to spot up from the corner and hit the threes, but he's now circled back into the guy he was at the beginning of the year. He's getting beat on defense. It just don't feel like he hustles. He had 1 rebound. He had 1 assist, 11 minutes, no points. But anytime he was out there, it just felt like you were playing 4.5 on 5. And it was just frustrating to watch. And so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with him. Nate Oates has ran him out in the starting lineup. Okay. Still hasn't performed. Maybe Darian Reed comes in and takes up that spot in the next game, or maybe they use the next 3 games to kind of figure that out. Diabante's definitely been pushing for more playing time, the way he's been able to just, again, the physical presence he brings on the floor, but you worry about his foul trouble sometimes. He had 3 fouls in this game. I don't know. I don't know with Stevenson. I don't understand, but I'm not Nate Oates, but I can't figure out why the guy is in there time after time. Now, again, 11 minutes, so it's not like he was on the floor a lot, but he keeps starting. And I don't know, maybe the signal is, hey, 11 minutes when you're a starter, that doesn't, pan out very well for you. So you're heading down the roster as far as the depth chart goes and won't be a starter in the near future. Going back to the box score, though, Sears had 17, Grant Nelson had 15. Bama at the free throw line, pretty bad. And we've seen where they've had amazing games, shooting 85, even 88-ish% from the line. But against State, only 55%, 11 of 20. They missed 3 free throws down the stretch that were pretty key before State missed a layup. Alabama got the rebound, able to get back ahead and hold on to the victory. But free throw percentage, not great for the Crimson Tide. Looking at some other of the team stats here, Mississippi State couldn't miss. Neither could Bama, though. State was 50% from the field, Bama 49%, so both right there. Bama, though, from beyond the arc, 15 of 31, 48% from three-point land. Mississippi State only at 32% there. Free throws, again, State with a little bit of an edge percentage-wise. Bama made 1 more free throw, though. Tied out, rebounded the Dogs offensively and defensively, 41 to 35 overall. 18 assists for each team. Turnovers, Bama had 14. On the road, that environment, not that upset with it. You'd love to see that more in the 9 to 10 range, but State had 9, but 14 overall. We've seen Bama give it away more than that. And honestly, if you give it away 18 to 20 times, probably lose this one. So that was another thing. Let's look at the schedule here. So Georgia comes to Coleman Coliseum Saturday afternoon at 3:00. That's going to be, one that you expect to win, but Georgia's had an up and down season. Sometimes they look really good. Sometimes they get blown out, for example, by Florida on the road by 20 or 30 points. Bama then goes to Arkansas, then goes to Texas. So if you look at it and you get ahead and we forecast, because that's what we do, Bama wins 1 at home. You think you beat Arkansas on the road. Texas at home is tricky. Longhorns don't have a flashy record. They don't have that little digit beside their name to show that they're ranked. There's nothing special about them. They've been living on the bubble the whole year. But at Texas will be tough. The other reason it'll be tough is because it is the on-deck game before Auburn on February 15th at Tuscaloosa. So that one, to me, is the biggest trap. Georgia, I think Bama wins. At Arkansas, probably get a win there. That moves Bama hypothetically to a 20-3 season, 9-1 in the conference. Texas is the one I'm worried about. I was worried about Ole Miss. I thought Bama would win, but I didn't expect what did happen to happen. But Ole Miss caught them perfectly, coming off of a big road win at A&M, at Kentucky on deck. You kind of think, Ole Miss, good team, whatever, but we're at home. We're going to win this game. Didn't turn out that way. Texas being the game before Auburn and being on a pretty good win streak if you're Alabama, and a pretty good season, very good season overall, that's the one that worries me. So we'll see what happens. Going to be interesting, but Crimson Tide, 3 more games before that gauntlet starts. And man, is it ever a gauntlet. It's going to be absolutely brutal than the final 7 for Alabama. All right, tell you about our friends at newlifeart.com. Promo code Bama Tailgate. Check them out. Visit the website. You guys are amazing. You guys know we talk about it all the time. The Daniel Moores. D. Moore has them hanging everywhere. My house, Mick's house, hopefully your house. And if not, you need to get on there. Check out what they've got. Again, promo code Bama Tailgate. Make sure you check that out. As far as the mortgage stuff goes, you guys know this. Scan the QR code. We'll hook you up with a 0 down payment mortgage when you want to buy a home. Visit the website, chadwickanderson.com. Done this for a lot of you. Really appreciate you reaching out. It's meant a lot for the people on this channel to use me. And we also have the all-new HELOC Express. Apply for a mortgage today, a HELOC that is. You get approved today. You sign. You got money in your account 5 days later, whether it's debt consolidation, home remodel, home improvements. If you just want to go invest in something, whatever the case may be, HELOC Express, make sure you check that out. Email me for that, chad@chadwickanderson.com, or shoot me a text or a phone call, tell you all about it and how it works. And of course, our friends at Pearl River Resort, we never forget them. The Timeout Sports Lounge, Sportsbook, they got it all happening in place. Go lay some coin. Probably some good value right now. You know, as far as the Final Four teams, you look around. I got some good ones. I really like what some of these teams are doing. Houston Cougars are one I like a lot, kind of lying in the weeds a little bit. They just went on the road last week and beat Kansas. But anyway, you get over there, you pick your teams, you get something down on Bama for sure. Enjoy yourself. They've got the Azaleas, the Oaks. Those are the 2 golf courses, the Augustas that you can play, the casinos, the spa, the buffet, the restaurants, the rooms, the service. They got it all. Just check them out. Philadelphia, Mississippi, Pearl River Resort. Great friends of the channel, and we appreciate them as always. All right, that'll do it. Catfish Courtside wrapping up here. Like, subscribe, hit the bell so that you know when we go back dropping content or go live again. Appreciate you hanging out. Bama, full effect. They are in full throttle right now with basketball, beating Mississippi State 88-70 or 88-84. Bama now 18-3 overall. They're 7-1 in the SEC, 1 game behind the Auburn Tigers. Roll Tide. See you later.